So this week it was kind of broke down in parts into the video, and so that's the way I'm gonna kind of run. I kind of did the same thing. I'm just gonna elaborate off of what they broke down because they were all what I was gonna pick up on anyways. Media as a tidal wave, we get overwhelmed by ads, and it's all a blur, and then one day it just kind of clicks. And this may help sway us on a decision one way or another. Two, tricks of the trade. Most effective ads are the sneakiest of ads. Um, they say they sell us on a lifestyle. For the longest time, look at Marlboro. Marlboro did it forever. You know, the Marlboro Man, the Cowboy Way, and Copenhagen still does it. Um, Chevy truck ads. I remember them. They always had the same truck ads. It might have been a different year model truck, but they always had that one that was driving four-wheel drive, just plowing through the mud, tire spinning, flinging, Um, but I think that's kind of where they're going on that, or that's why I perceived it. The sleeper effect. It's a repeat message that finally just one day it sways you. And this, I've said this before in the last couple of videos about how if you tell the lie enough, it becomes the truth, and I think that's more or less what it is. Um, for media manipulation. The media was tricky and pushed people the direction that they wanted without realization of the people, and that happens all the time. Um, it's happening right now uh, with our hurricaneator that we got going on in the world. Uh, Number five, repurposing the sleeper effect. Media uses tactics to discredit themselves to sway your thoughts on the products. Um, again, this kind of goes back to the whole political thing. I'm trying to think of some other examples uh, where, well, okay, like going back to the truck ads. Um for the longest time, well, even in today's world, your big three in America, you've got Ram, used to be Dodge for all us old people, Chevrolet and Ford. And for the longest time, there was always that big, huge rivalry. And they got to where they would Ford got to being where they cried about uh not being the number one seller in the United States because GM and Chevrolet are two different trucks and they're not different trucks. They're the same truck, they just have a different grill and a different set of taillights on them and they call it a different truck. But when you break it down, they're the same truck. So if you look at it like GM did, they discredited themselves and said, "Oh yeah, no, you're right. We're a different truck." So instead of being the number one sales in the nation, they're the number two and number three sales in the nation. Uh, I think that's where they're going with that. I'm trying to think of other examples. This one kind of stumped me though. It's not one that you really think about. The 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 example they used was kind of where I was going, but I'm trying to stay away from that political thing because that's what I always end up going to, and I'm trying to break away from that and finding a different topic. Um, but like going along with the political thing, we had one party. I'm not going to mention any names. I promise I'm not. But we had one party that started more or less plagiarizing the other party about a month ago, and uh, at the end of the party that got plagiarized said, I approve of this message after listening to that party repeat everything that this party's been saying the whole time. So, uh, and that's exactly what they were talking about in the video. Um, and that's kind of the way I saw it. Anyway, I was trying to think of something to get it away from the political thing. I do apologize. Y'all have a good week.